What's up, you guys? Steven here for Off the Shelf Movie Night to talk to you about physical media, about Blu-rays and 4Ks and DVDs, however it is you'd like to buy and own your movies and TV shows and, display them in a beautiful library and enjoy them at your leisure. You're in the right spot if that is you, or if you want to be that person. You're starting a collection. You're in a good spot. I'd love to help you get started, talk about curating, all that stuff. Give me a subscribe if you haven't already. If you like what you see here, like it and share it. I really appreciate it. Especially on the likes, you guys. It really makes a difference. Really makes a difference. I am excited today. I'm talking to you about an import. And I did open this import on this video already, but I don't know if you guys can see that. There's a button right there that sometimes defaults into the pause mode on the audio, and I didn't see it, and I recorded this entire video once already with no audio. So the plastic has been pulled off this release, so it is what it is. What are we going to do? Anyway, I want to talk about found footage films today. Everyone thinks of the Blair Witch Project as the first found footage film. It is not. The first found footage film is 1998's The Last Broadcast. And the cool thing about The Last Broadcast is there probably are technically some others, maybe that are even before that. But the film that matches what we know of found footage today is The Last Broadcast. And the cool thing about The Last Broadcast is it was also the first film that was shown in theaters across a satellite. It was a tech demo with, I believe it was Texas Instruments, where they shot the movie up to a satellite and then shot it down into a theater and screened it. That was the new hotness back then. So that movie, and it's a cool movie, and it's kind of hard to find now. If you have it or know where to find it, let me know, because I would like to have it in my collection. So after The Last Broadcast, yes, there are two other films that really impacted the subgenre of found footage, and the next one was Blair Witch Project. But then the one after that was what we're talking about today, Paranormal Activity. This is the second sight limited edition of Paranormal Activity. I bought this from a company called Orbit DVD. I've heard about them for a long time. I've seen some other YouTubers post about ordering from there. I've never ordered from there. I did my first order, and it came with mixed results. But I don't know that I blame Orbit for this. The issue with this guy is it's an import. Let me put this J-card back on it so you can see it. It's an import. So things happen on that much shipping. But generally, we're in good shape here. Generally. In fact, the one thing that does bother me about this, I may get your advice on here at the end of the video. So anyway, talking about Paranormal Activity, in my little close-knit filmmaking group, I'm kind of the only guy that likes this movie. But as a filmmaker myself, when it comes to found footage filmmaking, I'm a stickler for nailing the found footage. And most found footage films do not. They'll have a camera angle that's an impossibility for found footage. You can't shoot POV and then have a beautiful sweeping camera. You can't do it. I catch it right away, and it pulls me out of the reality of the film. And one of the things, I guess, that's a soft spot for me with Paranormal Activity is the filmmakers go to a great deal of trouble to create their found footage in a believable way. My favorite example in the film is this. When this film was made, I believe they were still shooting on digital tape, I believe. But what I do know is there's a sequence where the husband decides to set up a camera and just hit record and record all night in their bedroom to try and capture an image of this ghost. Well, today, your filmmaker would be lazy and they would just have the character set the camera up, hit record, and go to bed. Well, as a filmmaker myself, I know that's impossible. There are issues of battery and storage. Storage being the big one. There's ways around the battery situation, but storage is a big one. Especially if they were, in fact, shooting on digital tape. If they were shooting on an SD card, I don't think they were. But if they were, even that is still a storage issue. There's no way you're filming all night. The one thing you could do back then, and you can do now, is you could connect your camera to your computer, and then you would be able to film as much as you want with the right camera until the hard drive is full. You could film all night that way. And they go to the trouble of having the character do that in the movie to make it more real. And I love that attention to detail. I really, really, really appreciated it. It's a small thing. Maybe you don't care about it as just your standard audience member, but as a filmmaker, I really appreciate that level of detail. So the other argument in Paranormal Activity is none of the characters are likable. Well, sure, none of them are. They're not that likable. But neither are any of the characters in Devil's Rejects, and we love that movie too. So anyway, let's get to it. So we've got Paranormal Activity here. You can see that it was an import by the ratings code there. I really appreciate that Second Sight. This is who this comes from. This is a Second Sight limited edition that I ordered through Orbit. I do appreciate how Second Sight put it on the J card instead of on the actual art, because their ratings code marks are really, really ugly. And you'll see it again on the back of the J card down there. I'll let you pause so you can see the extras in the description there if you want to. So we have Paranormal Activity available here in a multi-pack and then just a single Blu-ray and that kind of thing. But in the world of film history, I think Paranormal Activity is an important film for the reasons that I said. But also, this film, I don't think it was the first. I don't know for sure. Maybe it was the first. I don't know. But this film was the first film to make a big splash in regard to crowdfunding. The early production part of this film was crowdfunded. And when I look at the special thanks in the closing credits, my name is there. All those years ago. So that little bit of nostalgia for me is cool to have it on the shelf. And I love having it in a premium version, which we don't really have here. So we have this one. So we take a look at the front without the J card. There's the back, looking really cool. So if you're not familiar with Second Sight, if you've been on this channel with me for a while, you are, because I bought some other Second Sight releases, the Nightingale and Raw. I got Road Games is not Second Sight. Road Games I think is a different. But anyway, this is their format for limited editions. It's very Arrow video-ish. The only difference is with Second Sight, they go very subtle in the artwork. And I like it. I like it. So let's see what's in here. And then here in just a minute, you will see the issue that I had. First up, we've got some art cards. I hope I'm not paying a lot extra for art cards, because I feel like they're a waste of time, especially when they're like these. Look at this. This is just a screen cap. It's a screen cap. If you're going to give me art cards, then take the time to give me the international posters, you know? Or if there was concept art done, give me the concept art. These are just screen caps. Now, these are very nice cardstock if you're into cardstock and that kind of thing, and that's, I do agree, it's cool. These are, they have a velvet texture on the front. Look at this. This is just the box art. I mean, that's not special at all. I mean, some of these are nice pictures and, you know, some kind of cool art, but I would so much rather see the posters. I think the international posters is really the way to go with this. But they're there. That's just a common thing now. This book, though, is pretty impressive. It's a perfect bound book, as you can see there. I love the matte finish. This is very Arrow style as far as its matte finish. Inside, there's a ton of write-ups here about the film. There's behind the scenes, if I can show it, because this thing, I don't want to break the spine yet. This thing has pieces of the script in here. It has promotional material. This is a pretty in-depth booklet. Now, while I don't appreciate art cards much, I do appreciate these books. If it's a film that I've seen many, many times and I'm watching again, it's kind of cool to have the book to sort of flip through. All right, here's the issue that I've been talking about. Look at this box, you guys. Let me turn it into the light. it's all like bubbly through here. I think that's a temperature thing. Is that what that? If you know, let me know in the comments. I feel like that's just from maybe extreme temperature changes as it was shipped over. I did already, because as I said, we've done this once. I did take a look at the disc, and the disc is in beautiful shape. There's no reverse artwork here, which I think sucks. But I've noticed, for some reason, when we get these black boxes from Severin or Second Sight or Arrow, not as much Arrow, but most of the time when we get these boxes, whether it's a 4K or a Blu-ray, we don't get reversible artwork. All things considered, I'm going to have to, if I can find this kind of thick case, I think I might replace this box. If you've got a line on finding a thick case like this, let me know. So there it is, you guys. The Second Sight Paranormal Activity Blu-ray Special Edition. If you like this movie, if you like found footage type of films, let me know in the comments. Let's talk about it. What are your favorites? And have you ever crowdfunded a film before? If you have, let me know your experience doing that too, and I'll talk about mine. Let's just have this physical media conversation. In particular, though, I'd love to talk about who is importing. A quick piece of advice on importing. If you don't have an all-region player, it's easy to do. All you need to do is go to 220 Electronics. They have a wide variety of players at different prices, and sometimes they can be really killer on shipping. So I'll tell you what I did, and if you didn't see my video, I do have an entire video on setting up my all-region player. Is I found one on 220 that I liked, and then I went and found that exact same player on Amazon and got it shipped for free because their shipping was incredible. It was like half the cost of the player. So I didn't want to do that. But anyway, that's a good way to go to start looking for an all-region player, because obviously this is a standard Blu-ray, so we're talking about Region B. So anyway, I want to say thank you to everyone who follows and comments and likes these videos and stays in the conversation. It's really, really appreciated. And let's keep it going. Until next we meet, pull something cool off the shelf, share it with your friends and family, and remind them why physical media is the best way to watch films and TV. I'll see you guys on the next one.